Turn now to new research that reveals 3 things to avoid in middle age that could substantially reduce your risk of developing dementia. Our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Narula, is back to break it down for us. And Doc, tell us more about this study.
Yes, so for so many people, Michael, the big fear is dementia. I hear this from a lot of my patients, and about 40% of Americans are at risk for developing dementia. We don't obviously have a lot of great treatments, so prevention is really key. So we know that vascular risk factors, things like high blood pressure, diabetes, and smoking, are contributors to developing dementia. And a lot of times people say, well, what's my risk? What is my risk of developing actual dementia? Well, researchers here wanted to look at something a little bit different, which is how many years can I live without dementia? What is my survival-free time? And so they took about 12,000 individuals, they followed them for about 20 years, and they looked at those specific 3 things, high blood pressure, diabetes, and smoking, and they assessed their cognitive functions. And they essentially found that the less of those vascular risk factors you had, the more you lived without developing dementia in terms of time. So if you had 0 of those risk factors, you lived about 30 years dementia-free. If you had 3 of them, it was down to about 17 and a half years. That's 13 years of a real difference when you're talking about quality of life. When they looked at those individuals who were 85, only about 7% of them were dementia-free if they had 3 of those risk factors. Compare that to about 35% at the age of 85 who had 0. They also found, not surprisingly, that the more risk factors contributed to the absolute risk of developing dementia by about increasing it 3-fold, and the risk of dying prematurely, it increased that risk about 5-fold from causes other than dementia. So. Wow. Really, really important. 3 things.
Yeah, they're staggering hearing those numbers. Those 3 risk factors seem to go hand in hand, but how do you tackle them all at once?
So I'm a cardiologist, and we talk a lot about cardiovascular risk reduction because it is the leading cause of death for men and women. And yes, these factors contribute both to cardiovascular disease and dementia, not surprisingly, probably by shared biological pathways in terms of plaque formation, inflammation in the brain, decreased blood flow, or problems with the blood vessels in the brain or to the brain. And so really tackling all 3 of those can improve not only your longevity, but your quality of life. And that's really important for so many people. And it's these small changes, really knowing your numbers, making those lifestyle changes, taking the medication, stopping smoking. And we have so many great programs now. So really speaking to your doctor and prioritizing these midlife changes. That investment in midlife in your 50s has a huge payoff.
So it's not too late to quit
smoking. It is not too late. Never too late, George.
And thank you saying that midlife is your 50s.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Yeah, that's
yes,
right.
Midlife.
That's what we have to look at it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wearing